No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the co-host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Hand jobbers and hand jobbies, welcome to the Smackin' a Raw podcast, episode 130. I am your host, the Warden Matt Ritter, and back this week and barely awake is my co-host, Sir Cussalot Travis Pointer, a.k.a. the Dragon King, a.k.a. Big T, a.k.a. Sweet T, a.k.a. T Money, a.k.a. T Bag, a.k.a. Black Merlin, a.k.a. the HNIC.
Was that?
We got to wake you the fuck up, Travis.
Good luck. It's been a hell of a day. It's messed up when
you weren't all the way over in what?
I was saying it's messed up when you fall asleep with no intention of falling asleep. Throws everything off, man.
Well, if you weren't in Texas, I'd come over and just slap you awake. But fortunately, they haven't produced the technology that allows me to reach through the camera and give you a little tap on the cheek, help you along.
Unfortunately.
You want to slide into Sasha's DMs? You got the energy for that? Can you look up a Panda GIF?
Yeah, I can do it.
And seeing as you guys somehow got kicked off Pornhub for the video you and Mara did, and you have been slowly warning me that if I continue to use poor audio from my phone for music while you search in Sasha's DMs, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, you're in Sasha's DMs on Instagram. You're looking for Panda GIFs. Maybe I'll have to like pick a song and I'll just sing every week while you're doing it. Or like hum. We got to do something. You can't just have silence while you're searching.
I feel like that would be possibly the most awful thing you could do.
It could also be like Tony Reed's rap. It could be fantastic. People might love it.
Anything's possible.
Well, if you guys are listening, let me know. And while we're waiting, real quick, I'm going to test something. I'm going to shout out 3 people from Twitter, and then I want you, if you hear your Twitter handle, to go to @MattRitter on Twitter or in one of the posts I make for the Smackin' Raw podcast when it is released. Let me know you heard my name so I know you're listening. So at Get Yo Wrestling, at Those Wrestling Girls, T Wrestling Girls, and at Deadass Girls. If you guys are actually listening to the podcast and you hear this, let me know on Twitter so I know you're really listening. It's a panda. I don't know if he's crying or if he's just hiding his eyes and rocking back and forth. How would you interpret that, Travis?
I'd say he's just covering his eyes.
Okay. So yeah, he's playing hide and seek, maybe?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, we got a bunch of news to go through real quick. Edge has signed a 3-year contract with WWE, so he is back for at least 3 years. We'll talk more about that when we get to Raw, unless, Travis, you want to speak on Edge's return at the Royal Rumble and some of the stuff that you may have saw because, you didn't make the post show.
As far as Edge goes, no, not really.
Okay.
It's cool.
We didn't even have a post show.
Right.
Andrade is suspended for a wellness policy violation, something else we will talk about more when we get to Monday Night Raw. It was reported that AJ Styles, Sasha Banks, and Samoa Joe are all out with injuries, along with Alexander Wolf, who received a concussion at Worlds Collide. That's why Sasha wasn't in the Women's Rumble.
That explains it.
Actually, not medically cleared. Nikki and Brie Bella are both pregnant, and that's weeks apart. So Nikki's going to have her first baby, which she was trying to get for a while, and Brie's on number 2 or 3. I think 2. MVP, who we'll also talk about on Monday Night Raw, is one and done. He tweeted out that his final match for WWE happened on Monday Night Raw. And like I said, we'll talk more about that when we get to it. But yeah, he did the Royal Rumble. He came back, did one match on Raw, and now he's gone. I believe he's going around doing a farewell tour.
Okay. Dope to see him, though.
And last but not least, Luke Harper has signed a deal with AEW, and it sounds like he may be debuting sometime in March as his independent wrestling character, Brody Lee.
Good for him.
All right, Travis. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW.
Let's go ahead and do SmackDown.
All right. So we kick things off with the Bloodline. And the Bloodline works. Like, Roman Reigns seems like he's way more comfortable cutting promos now, and especially in the ring with the Usos. Yeah. They're out there. This works, and I need them to, like, make the Bloodline an official thing. Not like they call themselves the Bloodline. Like, just call them the Bloodline. Give us some dope-ass, like, NWO Wolfpack-esque music for the Bloodline. Let the Bloodline be a thing. Release some Bloodline shirts. Maybe get Roman Reigns out of that stupid fucking flak jacket that he wears, or the bulletproof vest, whatever you want to call it. Get him out of that shit. Give him a new look. Run with it. I'm all about it. What I'm not about is Baron Corbin came out, and first off, why are we still fucking doing this? Like, why didn't we just end it at Royal Rumble with their match? They had the Falls Count Anywhere match. Corbin lost. Like, why is that not the end?
Because they had to go back on that, dog food thing, because they felt like that was so clever. Because he's the big.
I digress.
Her.
Yeah. Roman Reigns kink shamed Baron Corbin. And as everyone who listens to the Smackin' Raw podcast knows, we are not about that shit. We do not endorse, nor do we condone kink shaming on the Smackin' Raw podcast.
Never.
Roman Reigns was essentially making fun of Baron Corbin for a dog food fetish that he may or may not have.
Yeah. Which we don't know that he has this fetish, but even if he did, it is not your place to shame him for it.
No. You let that man be into whatever he's into. If it's dog food, if it's sucking toes, if it's pegging, whatever it is, you let that man do him, and we don't shame for that.
Never.
That ends up becoming what we talked about, where they announced that the 6-man tag team match in the main event, the loser will eat dog food, and then they bring out like 2 giant buckets of dog food on a tray with a shit ton of cans of dog food. And then throughout the entire night, some poor guy is standing there mixing cans of dog food into the already full buckets and stirring them up. That's got to be a shitty job.
I mean, maybe, but honestly, if you think about it, somebody got paid to do that. Like, there are worse things to get paid for doing.
I'll agree with that. In our 6-man tag team match main event, of course, predictably, Roman Reigns, the Usos, the Bloodline defeat Corbin, Ziggler, and Rude. By the way, Bobby Roode's tights looked very, very similar to like the Y2J tights from back in like early WWF. And it's weird seeing Bobby Roode wear tights.
That I can give you, but I didn't notice them being similar to Y2J's tights.
Yeah, if you get a chance and you see it, or next time if they do a replay or something, you pay attention. He's got like his silhouette in white surrounded by some shit, and it's like he's standing doing the glorious pose, which is essentially the Y2J pose, on his tights, one on each leg. Very similar to the old Y2J tights. Not as flashy.
Oh, okay. So, like, you got to ask Phil if those are some tight tights.
Yeah, Phil, Polish Hammer, if you're listening, Did you find Bobby Roode's tights to be tight tights? We need to know. Yeah, Roman Reigns wins. So, of course, Corbin tries to run away and get out of it, and he's stopped by Roman and the Usos, who chain him up, spear him, and then cover him in dog food. And again, I feel bad for the person who has to come out and clean this up. And where do you like? Do you think it's just like a regular WWE employee whose job is to like mop up the dog food after they're done, or do you think like they go to a specialist, like somebody who cleans up a porn set after like the porn set's done? Someone who's like a real good cleaner, get all that cum and ass juice and everything out of the couches and shit. Come get the dog food out of the fucking mats.
I don't know. They probably have a guy for that. Like, just somebody that's, especially there for the more gross things that they do. And like, 90% of the time he doesn't do shit. But on days like this, your time is
he earns his paycheck.
Yeah.
Well, we know that they've got a fluffer because we saw him with Big E last week. So
fluffing, or was he just oiling him up?
Big E was oiling himself up. This dude was stretching him out. And we're going to talk about Big E some more here in a minute. I'm going to save that for the last part of SmackDown because it was my favorite part. We did have a fatal four-way tag team match for the number one contendership to face the New Day. And I don't know if you knew this, but I knew when they announced it who was going to win this match.
We all did.
And it should have been Heavy Machinery, but it was Miz and Morrison.
Well, sir. Not necessarily. It didn't have to be. It should not have been Heavy Machinery. They need transitional champions. That's what the Miz and Morrison are here for. So you get some transitional champions because they've been doing this story with the Miz and Morrison. So you need some heels for them to go up against. So you let Miz and Morrison win the titles, and then Heavy Machinery beats them.
See, I disagree because I need the New Day and Heavy Machinery in the ring, and more so, I just need Otis and Big E in the ring together. Travis, listen. All right, I was going to save it, but since we're on it, my boy Otis finally got that date with Mandy Rose, and he got it on Valentine's Day. And let me tell you something. I have never wanted fictional sex to happen more in my life than I do right now. Last time I wanted fictional sex to happen this bad was when Jon Snow was trading dragon or anti-dragon ass for dragon glass on Game of Thrones. Like, that was the last time I wanted to see two people who probably shouldn't be fucking more than anything. I need this segment to end. Like, I need them to go out. I need Otis to just make a slob of himself, maybe like at one of those like Fuka de Chow where it's just like he's just eating meat left and right. It's all dripping down his shit. And then they end up at a hotel and they go in the door and then like the heart comes up and it just kind of fades to black after they get behind the door. That's what I want. But more so than that, Travis, next week, because we got a week buffer and we didn't get the New Day this week on SmackDown at all. I need Big E to be Otis's love coach because clearly Otis is a little shy, right? And I don't know if all that stuff that's going on with Big E, that's just bottled up sex, bulging at the seams. That's all that is. That's why he's got to oil himself down so much so the seams don't tear. So you have Big E come in and be like, hey, listen, man, I see you're having a little hard time with Mandy. Let me help you out. And like we do a montage of Big E training fucking Otis on what to say and how to handle things with Mandy. It will be fucking fantastic.
You got to show him how to move his hips too.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because here's the thing. Like, I imagine Big E is this just like super Casanova. Like, he goes to like Becky's mom or Thicky Neidhart, Natty's sister that he was hitting on Total Divas. I know you don't watch, but some of our fans out there probably do. So they know what I'm talking about. He invites him over to like Netflix and chill or Hulu and Hump or Disney and Dick or WWE and P, whatever kids are doing these days, right? And they're on the couch and they're watching what they're watching and they're getting in the mood. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Peace for pussy, Travis, but pussy doesn't rhyme with WWE.
What you said. Go ahead.
Unless hey, you know what? It could be WWE in a golden shower.
Nope.
We don't kink shame here. Whatever they're into.
We do not. I'm just asking what you said. That's all.
So anyway, they're sitting on the couch, right? Biggie gets up. He goes in the other room, says, I'll be right back. Next thing you know, You look over, there's Big E standing in the doorway, all greased up in just a loincloth. He goes, "Oh, baby, don't you dare be sour. Make that ass clap for daddy and feel the power. I'm about to blow that back out. Yes, I am." Like, that's the kind of game I feel like Big E has. That's how I see Big E handling business. All right.
Wow, sir.
I told you I'm gonna need you to wake up for this episode, Travis.
I've really never given that much thought to Big E's prowess in the bedroom.
I don't know why not.
Well, I don't know. It's not something
it is a highly entertaining and hilarious thought to me.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. It's just not one of those things that really entered my thoughts before. And now you
God damn it, Travis.
I don't know how I'm going to get rid of it.
Just embrace it. Maybe bring it into your persona, and next time you're out on a Tinder date or a Bumble date or whatever the fuck you're doing out there in Texas, maybe put a little of that into action. Huh?
I swore off Tinder a long time ago.
Bumble, Plenty of Fish, whatever the fuck you're doing out in Texas. I don't know what they got. I know what you're not on. You're not on One Fall because Travis didn't make that shit happen.
Jesus, Matt.
Anyway, just bring that into your persona. Use that next time a girl comes over. I know you got a loincloth. Don't tell me you don't have a loincloth. I know you do.
I will not confirm nor deny whether or not I have a loincloth.
All right, fair enough. Let's go back to SmackDown. Bliss and Cross defeat Fire and Desire. Braun Strowman defeats Shinsuke Nakamura. He's our new IC champ.
No, I was just saying Fire and Desire can't buy one, man. Sad.
No, they can't. And they didn't even bring Otis out to like kind of help him get a win or nothing. And does it really matter because Asuka's still kind of competing as a singles wrestler? So the tag team titles are tied up over on Raw and that bullshit. So like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? New IC champ. Any thoughts on I'm happy for Braun because he finally got it. I don't know what they're gonna do with it now that he does have it, or like who's gonna feud with him on SmackDown? Sheamus?
I'm not gonna say I've never cared less about a title change, but this is very low on the list of title changes I've cared about. Because it was just,
which is sad.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Because like, oh, Braun's first singles title. I should care so much more. I just don't.
And there was a time we would have.
Exactly.
There was a time we really wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
That time has gone. And I told you they were going to do this because they did it with Roman Reigns. There was a time where we wanted it and they didn't give it to us. And by the time they finally got around to it, we didn't care and we really didn't want it.
100% their fault, though. He got hurt. But yeah.
And then Sheamus, I don't care. They should have pulled the trigger when they should have pulled the trigger. They waited too long. Hurt or not, they fucked up. Sheamus defeated Shorty G in both. Well, actually, Sheamus defeated him in the match, but they had a dick measuring contest, and Shorty G clearly won that because you've got to have a big dick to come out wearing the shit that Shorty G does every week with the confidence that he still has when he gets in the ring.
I mean, he has no choice but to do it confidently. So it's just, I don't know, man. Like, you just got to own it. Unfortunately, this is the bullshit.
It really is, and he's doing it, but Sheamus keeps running around talking about size matters. Size matters. Well, like I said, Shorty G's clearly beating you in that category, but hey, you won the match. Good for you. Last but not least, and I don't know if you saw this because of your accidental nap, Bayley came out.
No, I did not see Bayley.
Travis, you are about to be so fucking mad at yourself right now. And it's only your fault. You only got yourself to blame. Bayley was talking shit about how she beat Lacey and she did this and she did that. And then things got amazing.
Oh, really? So 2 of them.
Naomi came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where the fuck she stole this like rave mask fucking DJ bullshit that she had on, but she had like this whole head thing, like globe, and it lit up and it made faces and it looked like a disco ball for a second and it was all glowing and doing shit. It was kind of cool, but it looked like something she got out of a rave. But then again, her whole gimmick looks like she's on Molly. So, like, I'm not going to knock that.
The whole glow
She
thing.
comes down to the ring. Huh?
So, yeah, that whole glow thing looks like somebody's partying in an abandoned warehouse.
She comes down to the ring and tells Bayley that she's out here talking all that trash and says that she's beat everyone. But Bayley, you've never beat me. And as a former SmackDown Women's Champion, 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion, mind you, she's going to come and take that title when she wants it. And then Bayley hits her in the mouth with the mic and gets on her. And Travis, I haven't been able to say this in a while, but when it comes to the Battle of the Booty, Bayley's losing here.
Oh, well, yeah, this is the one she will definitely lose to is Naomi. So.
Oh, yeah, no. No, there's not. It's no contest.
Yeah.
And for a long time, Naomi was gone, and I just forgot how beautiful Naomi really was.
She came back and reminded you.
Naomi gets her licks in, though, ends up doing her springboard kick,
I'll get my licks.
knocks Bayley in the face and sends her out. Ends up on top.
Because I'm not there.
Overall thoughts from what you saw / heard about SmackDown. Spit or swallow?
Wait, so the dog food thing, did they actually eat it?
No, they just dumped it on him. And I actually tweeted that out. I'm like, no one actually ate dog food.
Spitting it.
Roman Reigns took like a spoon of dog food, but he just flung it at Baron Corbin's face a couple times. And then the Usos picked up a tub and dumped it on Corbin. And then Roman picked it. They didn't even get it any on Dolph or Bobby Roode. They like buried them under an announce table.
Yeah. There you go. See, I was teetering, and then I'm like, they didn't even eat the dog food. Nope.
I'm gargling undecidedly. And here's why I'm gargling undecidedly. I was fully ready when I saw the card for SmackDown tonight after what we got from Raw and NXT to spit SmackDown. Like before I even watched the show, I was spitting. But even though it was underwhelming, we did finally get to see Braun Strowman win a championship. And I do like the title design on this new IC title. Otis got a date with Mandy. And that right there was enough to put this over for me because, you know, I love Otis. And then Naomi being in the number one contender spot, kind of, but not quite, offsets the 6-man tag bullshit, the Sheamus Shorty G rematch, and the obvious Morrison and Miz number one contender win. So I'm about 50-50 on the show, so I'm going to gargle undecidedly on this one.
Yes, yeah, that's where I was until you told me that they didn't even eat the dog food. I'm like, oh, nope, there you go. Tipped it over, spit it.
All right, so you're spitting, I'm gargling. AEW, NXT, Raw.
AEW.
AEW?
Yeah.
Now, you tweeted at me something along the lines of us treating AEW like we are NXT UK and just not covering it on the podcast. Does that tell me that all of this time that we have watched AEW, they have failed to capture your interest still?
Pretty much. It's one of those things I watch it because I know I have to. If I didn't have to do this for the podcast, I'd probably miss it most weeks.
Okay. So, because I've been on Twitter and I've been trying to figure this out, because in my opinion, and I believe it's our agreed opinion, even though, you know, we're just basically like the same person in black and white. I think NXT week after week, week in, week out, in-ring wrestling, story-wise, just engaging me and making me want to watch a show is the best show. It keeps happening over and over again. But AEW
pretty often, yeah.
Well, for me, I know for you, Ross sometimes wins over on occasion. Never SmackDown, never AEW. But AEW is consistently beating NXT in the ratings, and I'm talking to people on Twitter trying to find out what it is about AEW that really hooks them and what they love, because there are things that I'm interested in, but like, okay, we got an NXT pay-per-view coming up. The card is fucking stacked. You know, I'm all about it. It's Valentine's Day weekend. It's that Sunday. You know, they gave us a bunch of stuff that we're going to talk about later. I'm good. I can't wait for that pay-per-view. Also, we have an AEW pay-per-view coming up, and all I really care about is Cody Rhodes and MJF and Moxley and Jericho. Like, I don't care about anything else on the show. Anything else they're doing, they have failed to hook me with anything else, and they've got opportunities. So let's get into it. Let's talk about those opportunities when we get to them. Mox kicks off AEW with the promo and calls out Jericho. Jericho then, the Pirate Mox. And did you see he even had the fucking bandage under the eye patch?
Yeah, I saw that.
That's a nice touch. I got to give him that.
Because it's one of those things, at some point, the eye patch might move. So you got to, if you put something underneath it, kind of saves it.
No, I'm with you. I respect his dedication because I feel like that might be one of those things WWE would let slip.
Overlook it, yeah.
Yeah. Jericho obviously refuses to fight. Even talks about Mox's mom, says that she was looking pretty good. He might hit her up backstage. And then he calls out the Inner Circle. And Mox is like, well, it might be 5-on-1, but what you don't know about me is I'm from Ohio. And he does the Ohio chant. And he goes, so it's me and all the people in the arena. And I'm like, no, that's still just you.
No, it's just you, bro. Because they're not going to get in the ring. They can't. It's not legal.
Yeah.
It's still you against all 5 of them. And then,
but apparently,
Jericho brings extra Puerto Ricans.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Apparently, the Dread Pirate Mox is just one bad motherfucker because 5-on-1 wasn't enough. He called some dudes from New York. I think they know Mara intimately, and they came out to help out.
Because, apparently, I don't understand why they needed extra Puerto Ricans, bro. Like, it was just... And we know they're Puerto Ricans because they all had the Puerto Rican flag on their shit when they came out. So
you said you were going to do a watch along with Mark. Could you watch this episode and find out how well she knows those 5 guys?
I said I was going to do what?
You said you were going to get Mara to watch wrestling. You were going to watch wrestling with Mara, get her to watch wrestling.
Damn, did I?
Yeah. And I even went in that Slack app that we're supposed to use that apparently I'm the only one still using. And I said that if you do it, you should make it a watch along, because that would be entertaining as shit, and post it on the Patreon. But like I said, apparently you don't check that shit. You probably still got it on mute.
It's because you talk too much. I don't remember saying that, but I believe I said it.
It was on an episode of Super Flashy.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it's a 10-on-1 beatdown. It gets broken up by security. Fucking, they're on stage, and Ortiz, I think it's Ortiz. Yeah, it's Ortiz. Does the hootie hoo, and JR goes, "What the heck is a hootie hoo?" And I'm like, "You weren't in WCW."
No, he was not.
Tony knows what hootie hoo is. You don't.
Hootie hoo is, yeah.
But Tony didn't tell him.
Yeah.
The fuck you doing, Tony?
Well, you don't have time to explain to him what the call is and all that kind of shit,
I was going to do it properly, but my voice is a little raspy and it's just going to crack and sound like shit. So
yeah, makes sense. But yeah, it's no limit soldiers. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And now we got this thing with MJF, which if they had done it right from the beginning would be really entertaining. If they had let us know that MJF, when Butcher, Blade, and Bunny debuted, had paid them off. If they had beaten down and taken out Cody Rhodes, if they had been effective this entire time, then the scene where MJF is in a meat locker and he's handing money over to the Bunny, and then it flashes and they go from whatever clothes they're cutting the meat into their wrestling gear, like that would have been dope. And I could be behind the Butcher and the Blade because there's some bad motherfuckers who are guns for hire who are just taking motherfuckers out. Like, I could be down with that, but they didn't do that. They have lost consistently and failed to do whatever the fuck it is they're getting paid for on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
So why do I care?
Like,
even here, they're paid.
They were doing this. I'm like, no, refund, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
My coin.
I mean, MJF said he didn't pay him to win the match after they lost the match. By the way, the Young Bucks defeat the Butcher and the Blade. He says he paid him to take him out, but Kenny Omega and Adam Page come down, not Cody Rhodes, which I also thought was interesting. Like, why wouldn't you send down Cody? The Bucks came out and helped Cody with MJF on the boat. Cody has a problem with the Butcher and the Blade too. Where the fuck's Cody at?
Yeah, Cody's a shitty friend.
Yeah. And he had a match later, so maybe he was just, whatever.
So
Kenny and Paige come down for the save, and they do the hold my beer spot where he gets on the apron and hands his beer over to one of the Young Bucks, does his buckshot lariat, which I really enjoy. Like, I love the shit out of Hangman Adam Page, Travis.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
Yeah, man. Despite your insistence that he has a drinking problem, he's functioning just fine.
My best friend has a drinking problem and functions just fine.
Well, that sounds to me like your friend doesn't have a drinking problem. Your friend just
he does my finisher. I really like his in-ring work. He's doing great with this drunken character. I really want to see him bash Kenny Omega in the fucking face. Like, I'm all about this shit. Then we get Nyla Rose versus Big Swole. Nyla wins.
And here's one of the problems I have with AEW. Because they don't give their women's division enough shine, this is a real good example of it, where like they had this match and Nyla Rose is her name, right?
Yep.
Yeah. She came out first. Then Big Swole came out, lackluster response. But then like during the match, like it was like the crowd remembered that they liked Big Swole. They started getting more and more behind, like, oh yeah, that's right, she's dope. I like her. Whereas they should have been more behind her at the beginning, but they haven't seen her enough to really remember, So it's just I'm gonna need y'all to like really give them, more time on a regular basis so we don't have these problems, so you get more of a crowd response for them.
And also, in my opinion, and what I understand is a lot of people's opinions, the NXT women's roster and the way they use that division is light years ahead of both AEW and the main roster. Not so much the main roster, Raw and SmackDown, but I mean, and as we get into NXT, we'll talk about it. That women's division is just fucking knocking it out of the park left and right.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Then we get Kip Sabian losing to Cody Rhodes, and there was a lot of just extra bullshit in here with like Arn Anderson getting mad about Penelope throwing a shoe to distract the ref and like belly bumping the ref.
Yeah.
And, I posted on Twitter again, belly bump the ref. That's a paddling because he got kicked out.
Yeah.
And then you got fucking
the old dude, old girl's ex-boyfriend showed up and shit.
Yeah. Joey Janela showed up when they went for a kiss and poked his head in between them. There was just a lot of weird extra shit here.
Yeah, there's a whole lot.
I don't know why, because
I guess they're trying to make me interested. It didn't work, but they
tried. Maybe. Cody is probably like, that's the one thing I will give AEW. AEW has done something that NXT has kind of failed to do, and WWE even has a hard time doing. They have actually created a very, very strong babyface in Cody Rhodes, and they are generating pretty damn good heels. Like actual heels. Can you think of an actual heel on NXT?
The Undisputed Era.
They get cheered every week, Travis. Adam Cole comes out, he does the Bebe and the boom, and the crowd cheers, and they love him. They cheer for the Undisputed Era.
Also hit pretty strong boos, too.
And I feel like...
And who gets genuine heel heat on AEW?
MJF.
Yeah.
I'd say Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager. Not Jericho because he is Jericho, but Jericho can still get people to boo him. And did I not put it in here? I didn't put it in here, so we got to talk about it. Britt Baker got booed pretty good in her promo.
Yeah. Well, she went after JR, and that's just like,
Well, let's talk about that.
Things you do in wrestling that gets people to boo you, that's pretty high up there. You go after good old JR. We know we love JR.
Did you watch AEW last week since you knew you weren't going to do the podcast?
You know the answer to that question, Matt.
So Britt Baker did her first heel promo last week, and it was utter fucking garbage. Like, so bad to the point that JR's like, all right, we've had enough of this, and like cut her off from commentary, which is what led to this. This promo was light years better than last week's promo. This was actually a coherent heel promo. She hit all the right points. She got a JR. She talked some truth, but some unfortunate truth about JR. You know, the stuff that you don't want to hear because you love JR. Then she even got at the fans in Ohio and said, now there's finally a Baker they can trust in.
That was awful.
Like,
awesome. I mean, yeah, that was just, yeah. Garbage.
She hit all the strides.
She did. Because, I mean, things that you might not want to hear, but she said them, like the fact that the Browns are trash. And they will always be trash because of the Browns.
The Browns are the Kurt Hawkins of the NFL.
Yeah.
Well, I was listening to Get Your podcast on the way here, and they did a whole thing where it was like comparing NFL teams to WWE wrestlers and blah, blah, blah. And I thought of that one, and they didn't mention it, so I tweeted at them, hey, Kurt Hawkins is the Browns.
Yeah, that's about right.
We got more drunk Paige insulting the Bucks backstage, which I also enjoyed, where he went and got them nameplates for titles that they don't have because they just make nameplates. So, hey, I got you guys some. Maybe you'll get them someday.
See, that was him just being a good friend. He got them a gift, all right?
That was him being a dick.
Whatever, man.
But I loved it. Then we had SCU versus the Hybrid 2. I don't give a shit about Angelico and Jack Evans or the Hybrid 2 or their weird fucking like skeleton pajamas that they wear to the ring.
About them in the commentary, like, oh, they got all this experience and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I don't care.
And then another thing they're fucking up is the Dark Order. The Dark Order comes out and they let Christopher Daniels know that their quote unquote higher power, I can't remember what the fuck they call him, but we're going to call him the higher power because wrestling is the higher power. Once Christopher Daniels to suffer for turning down the offer to join the Dark Order. So instead of doing something cool and having the Dark Order like have a member of Christopher Daniels' family or one of his close friends or something backstage and beat on them, they let him know, hey, here's a heads up. At some point, we are going to attack your friends and family. Don't tell me what they're going to do. Do it and surprise me. And I can get behind the Dark Order.
Joe, don't tell.
Yes. Pac had a pretty cool black and white promo walking down some stairs, yelling about some shit. He's not happy with Kenny Omega. Says Mox got lucky, but now he's got to deal with the Inner Circle, so fuck him. And then our main event, Darby Allin and Private Party, or as I like to call them. Ready for this? Why am I blanking out right now? God damn it! I'm completely ruining this.
You killed it. I mean, we were trying to. I gave it.
I know.
Say, go ahead. Now you don't have it anymore.
No, I don't. So anyway, Darby Allin and Private Party lose to Jericho. Huh?
You fail.
I did. Lose to Jericho and Proud and Powerful, which should just be called the Inner Circle. Like they lost the Inner Circle. Then we got a 5-on-3 beatdown. Darby Allin gets throated with a skateboard.
So like they just don't have the extra Puerto Ricans anymore?
No, they went back to Mara's house. So.
Nice.
And then Mox pulls a Sting. Travis, this was like Sting versus the NWO. He came down with a bat while the Inner Circle was in the ring beating down some baby faces and cleared the ring with a baseball bat. It felt very, very 1998 WCW to me.
I can see that. There were, not as many of them, but,
They can still grow. I mean, not the way AEW does things where they invite people to join and they just don't join. But if they decide to, they could grow.
They could, but they're not doing it.
Spit or swallow, AEW.
Bit.
Spitting AEW.
Yeah. They didn't give me a Luchasaurus.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the Mox Jericho stuff is fun. I'm a little disappointed that there was no Cody MJ. Like they were both on the show, but there was no interaction, and that's one of the big matches in the Blood feud. Though I did love everything with Adam Page. I'm gonna gargle this one too. So you're spitting two, I'm gargling two. Raw or NXT?
NXT.
Okay. I'm definitely going to disagree with you this week, I have a feeling. But we kick off with a fan-fucking-tastic. Like, I loved this episode of NXT. Finn Balor defeats Trent Seven. They even play, like, in case you didn't see it, backstage clip where supposedly Finn Balor bruised Trent Seven's larynx outside the parking lot because Trent was running his mouth. He closed him in the door and all that. Finn wins the match. They have a fucking fantastic, hard-hitting match. I absolutely loved it.
Oh, you expect me to, say something about it, huh?
Yeah.
That's what we're here for, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Every time Finn comes out on NXT, I still get that. Your entrance is so much cooler when you're on the main roster. But
well, let me ask you this, because this is something that was brought up on Twitter, or not Twitter. It was brought up on Busted Open, and then I put it out on Twitter. Do you feel like, and I'm wondering if you don't see it, like I don't see it because we don't watch them at the same time, or you're not changing channels. Do you feel like NXT is less than because of the arena that they do the show in every week? Like it's more of like a studio arena. It's a smaller arena with the same crowd every week. Does it feel less than to you compared to like AEW where you've got 5,000 fans cheering things on and doing stuff?
Calling it less than is a little harsh, but I can see why people would think that. We've talked about this before, even when we were comparing, like, when I was telling you, it's still a call up to go, to the main roster because, the way NXT does things, like, studio show, they're in the same place every week. They don't travel, they don't really do house shows or anything like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's still, it's even though you say like it's the best show every week for you, it's like it's still their C show. Like it's like it is what it is. I understand why people say that.
But do you feel that way? Does it feel less than to you? Because I don't care how huh?
Kind of, just because of the way the crowd sounds. It's just it feels real. It feels small.
Okay.
Less than.
See, I don't get that.
I'd say it feels smaller.
Okay. Because I don't care what WWE considers it or this or that. I only care about what product they're giving me and what I enjoy the most.
Yeah. I'm talking about the whole presentation. No, it does feel smaller.
Did you see Shotzi Blackheart versus Deonna Purrazzo?
Negative.
Did you see the Keith Lee promo?
I did.
And this is why we love Keith Lee. This is the obligatory Travis and Matt suck Keith Lee dick moment of the NXT discussion, because that's what we do every week.
Yep.
Because he is the shit. Keith Lee comes out, cuts a fantastic promo, has the presence and the energy. He's got the North American title. He is limitless. Then we got Damian Priest, a.k.a. The Saint, and Dijakovic. They both come down. They both want shots at Keith Lee. And Keith Lee does just the cool. He's like, listen, sounds like y'all two have an issue, and that's got nothing to do with me. So figure it out. I'm out. And Dijakovic tries to stop him, and he still just bails. Like this, I don't care who I fight. I'll fight whoever. Just figure out who it's going to be.
Okay, here's the thing, man. He already beat them. Like, in order to get the shot at that title, he beat them. So, like, don't give a fuck what y'all do. All right, I'll beat you again. Whatever, figure it out.
Dijakovic called Priest discount Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, that was funny.
And then we get Dijakovic versus Priest, and Dominic Dijakovic wins. And I got to say, he's got a cool-ass looking fucking shirt, Travis. Like, I'm not a big... Huh?
Dijakovic?
Yeah. Like, for someone that I'm not a big fan of, like, I don't hate on Dominic Dijakovic. he's entertaining. He's put on some great matches. I'm getting there, but I'm just not like, oh, this guy's fantastic. I'm really behind him.
I'm not really excited about another Dijakovic versus Keith Lee match, but okay.
Yeah. It is it is a really cool shirt. Did you see the stuff with Tommaso Ciampa in the Undisputed Era?
Yes.
I don't even know how this wasn't in the main event, but Travis, this is why you and I, this is the stuff that made us love professional wrestling. These moments, these segments, the way they're executed. What?
So you're going to elaborate or,
Yeah. Tommaso Ciampa is backstage. He says he's sick of waiting to hear whether or not he's going to get the shot that he is owed for the title he never lost. And he's not going to wait alone. He's got a friend and he's got a steel pipe. The only complaint I have about this was I would have liked to have seen Tommaso Ciampa take out the Undisputed Era with the steel pipe and not just cut to them knocked out and him walking out from behind the trailer with his shirt ripped holding the pipe. But this man is 100% pure badass, comes down to the ring, grabs a table, drags it down with him, puts it in the middle of the ring, puts a big yellow X on it, and says, bring me my contract so I can sign it. William Regal comes out, not happy that Tommaso Ciampa has now assaulted 3 men with a pipe and hijacked his show. Says, I was like Adam Cole signed the contract. I was on my way to you. And Adam Cole's like, no. I got this. And he takes the contract from William Regal and he walks down to the ring talking his shit. He goes to get in the ring. Ciampa goes after him and he cracks Ciampa across the head with the contract. Busts Ciampa open, gets in the ring, goes to hit his finisher, the last shot on him. Ciampa catches him, picks him up, and power bombs him. X marks the spot.
I was about to say,
Ciampa.
He told him ahead of time, you're going to come down here and I'm going to put you through this table. And then that's exactly what happened. So
X marks the spot. He goes through that spot on the table. Ciampa then signs it, and then the crowd is chanting for blood. So unlike The Fiend, who did not properly sign a contract last week on SmackDown, because as Kate and I talked about, stabbing yourself in the hand and smearing your blood on a piece of paper is not a legally binding signature. He signed it first and then smeared his blood on it. So he did it right. And this is how you do a fucking contract signing. Because how many contract signings have we talked about and complained about because they're the same thing over and over and over again? It's 2 guys sitting at a table arguing and then they fight. Don't get me wrong. All the same shit happened, but it happened different and it was entertaining as fuck.
Yeah, about to say. They did the same shit. They just kind of did it in a different order. And, somebody
it worked.
To the table, and it worked.
Did you see Tegan Knox versus Dakota Kai?
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say, did you see any of the women's matches this week, Travis? As Travis likes to refer to these two, they're the white girl who fought herself. Or they were until Dakota changed her haircut. Now Travis can tell them apart.
They look different now. They didn't.
No,
they looked exactly the same before.
This is the continuation of the grudge match from what we saw at War Games. I really liked that Dakota Kai's entrance was the video of her assaulting Tegan Knox, just to kind of rub that salt in the wound before the match. Tegan Knox kicked ass. Dakota Kai goes for a chair and tries to use it. Candice LeRae comes down and makes the save. And while the ref is dealing with Candice LeRae, we get a hard uppercut with the knee brace across Dakota Kai's face before we get the finisher. I got one question for you, Travis. Why do the announcers keep talking about Tegan Knox's vagina?
What'd they say about her vagina?
They keep talking about how she has the shiniest wizard.
Oh.
I don't understand why they're talking about like her bikini wax and her maintenance. Like that's a little weird to talk about during a match. I'm just saying.
I mean, if it's that shiny, maybe they've all
good for her.
Maybe they've all, come into contact with him. Like, this is the shiniest wizard. Like, we have to let the world know.
But that uppercut with the brace and then the Shining Wizard finish was real nice. I mean, for as short of a match as it was, and I don't think it's done. I don't think the feud's done.
Definitely not.
It was a nice, quick match. I enjoyed it for what it was.
Oh yeah. I like her using the brace because Dakota Kai was using the brace all that time.
Mm-hmm. I take it you did not see Caden Carter versus Chelsea Green.
No, I have no idea who those people are.
You know who Chelsea Green is.
How do I know who Chelsea Green is?
Because Chelsea Green is the chick that's with Robert Stone. They got pulled out of the Battle Royal, and we talked about it.
Oh, her. Okay, got you.
Yes. She's fucking Zack Ryder in real life.
Oh.
Then we got a promo. It was 3 numbers. It was a 2, a 20, and a 5, and they were kind of in a triangle, and they floated up to make a date, and there was like smoke in the background. There's been a lot of debate because it was the triangle shape that it might be signaling the return of Velveteen Dream next week because of his 3 eyeglasses. Because it's smoke, people might think that it's Scarlet Bordeaux, the smoke show, showing up next week. But somebody or something is going to happen next week on TNA or on NXT.
Something's gonna happen next week. Okay.
We don't know what.
Mm-hmm.
And then our main event, the Dusty Road Classic. Travis, let me tell you something.
Tell me something.
I don't want to like the Broserweights. I don't. Because I don't want to like the fact that they are a makeshift tag team and that they're winning this tournament. Like, I didn't.
Yeah. But
also, I don't want to like Matt Riddle because I don't know. I'm kind of hoping, like, as he gets more popular, people are going to start pronouncing my name correctly now because it's like Matt Riddle. Like, they'll make that transition and stop saying Mr. Ryder because they don't know, like, they didn't take basic grammar. So I'm like hoping that happens, but like, I can't help but like these guys, Travis. And this match, they are fucking fantastic together.
It's one of those. I'm just like, I still like, Matt Riddle by himself. I'm like, dude, you're annoying. But as a team in the ring, they're awesome to watch.
Like, and these are the tag team matches that
they're not as interesting to me. I don't care, about them.
But but together
in the ring as a team, dope.
And you didn't watch it, but they even did a little thing at Worlds Collide where they had a little back and forth, and Matt Riddle did most of the talking. And did you watch Worlds Collide?
Of course not, but still.
Exactly, because I know you. Because I've known you for long enough to know you did not watch that shit. Because you didn't even say a word to me about it, so I know you didn't watch it. And Tony Storm was there, and you would have at least mentioned that.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But they did a little back and forth thing where Matt Riddle's doing all the talking, and Pete Dunne is just standing there, he's kind of like the Chris Benoit of the tag team, where like Matt Riddle, like when John Cena and Chris Benoit teamed up, you remember that?
No.
John Cena did all the talking, and Chris Benoit just kind of stood there. And I think like one time all he said was, "I'll make you tap," to end like one of John Cena's rhymes. But like he's just the angry dude that sits there. And then even Matt Riddle's like, that's his happy face. Like, it was just really entertaining. I don't want to like them, but I do. I do.
I get it.
I still hate the Grizzled Young Veterans name. Like, that is the worst fucking tag team name I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Maybe
Broserweights win the Dusty Classic.
It's a British thing. Maybe the British think that's cool.
Yeah. Broserweights win the Dusty Classic. It was a great tag team match. It's one of those tag team matches you get on NXT that unless you're like getting maybe like an Usos or New Day, you're not going to see on the main roster. It's because I enjoy tag team wrestling, one of the highlights for me about NXT is you get these kind of matches on a much more consistent basis than you do from WWE.
What do you mean?
It was really fucking entertaining. It was a great main event.
On Raw, you have the best tag team in the world, the OC.
NXT, spit or swallow.
Prove it.
Oh, not good enough for Hulu. Not good enough for Hulu. NXT edition. The 2 of the 3 females matches, which is another credit I give NXT, is because they did 3 men's matches, 3 women's matches. First up, have you listened to the episodes that Kate and I have done at all while you're editing?
Yeah.
Did you hear the story about Shotzi?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Mother and all
So
that.
Shotzi, Kate's new favorite wrestler, because she fucked up, comes down in a motherfucking mini tank, Travis. Like, you remember the Barbie cars? Like the little pink Barbie cars?
Power Wheels?
Yeah, like that. Yeah, it was a tank, and she was in it, and it had a big skull on the front and some letters, and she drove it down to the ring. She had her fucking helmet on and shit. She ran it into the ring and then jumped out. Like, that entrance alone was fucking fantastic.
Maybe I fell asleep
What?
watching NXT.
Do you remember that?
No, but I can't see them cutting that. Maybe I fell asleep during NXT.
Well, I mean, it was a great entrance, but it was Shotzi Blackheart versus Deonna Purrazzo, neither of which are big names in the women's division, so I think that's probably why it got cut. It was a good match. Deonna Purrazzo is the virtuosa of the armbar. She spent the whole match. I really enjoyed working on Shotzi's arm, trying to wear down Shotzi's arms because that's her bread and butter is her different variations of arm bars, which always makes me think of Jericho's List. Shotzi got the win, though. Shotzi got the win, though, and she is slowly becoming one of my favorites in the NXT women's division. She calls herself ballsy. She's fun as shit to watch. She just does some really cool shit, so I'm about it.
Is she actually becoming one of your favorites, or you just enjoy her being there because you can use the rubbing Kate's face?
No, she's actually becoming one of my favorites, and I get to rubbing Kate's face. That's an added bonus. That's a cherry on top.
Got it.
And then Kaden Carter defeated Chelsea Green. This is Kaden Carter's first win on NXT. She's been jobbing out. Really talented chick. Got the roll-up pin on Chelsea Green. I don't know what they're doing with Chelsea Green. Like, they gave her Robert Stone and a manager. She got eliminated quick as fuck in the Royal Rumble, and now she's losing to someone who's never won a match on NXT. So I don't know where we're going with this, but I'm curious.
Maybe it's going to be one of those things where, she thinks she's greater than she is, all that kind of shit,
Not good enough for Hulu. NXT edition. Shotzi defeats Deonna, and Kaden Carter defeats Chelsea Green. Travis, NXT, spit or swallow?
I'm going to swallow it. Solid.
Me too. Like, my week started out really well. Like, I didn't hate AEW. There was a lot in there I did enjoy, but like Raw and NXT were the first two things I watched, and I really loved both shows. I thought they were really done well, both shows. So it's like, this is going to be a good week in wrestling. And then we got to SmackDown and the dog food. Yeah. Monday Night Raw kicks off with Drew McIntyre letting us know that we don't need to wait.
Wait. Before the show itself kicked off, because I was at Raw, there were a couple of main event matches. I'm like, oh, Sarah Logan, she's still here. So we saw that. Then I saw a match between Cedric Alexander and whatever that dude's name is that's with Mojo.
Riddick Moss.
Yeah, whatever the fuck. And we were I was sitting there with Big Rob and we watching this shit. We both were like, yo, who the fuck is this dude? Who are you? Why are you here? And then Raw came on. We're watching Raw, and he comes out with Mojo like, oh, he's with Mojo? But still, who the fuck are you? But it was
By the way, that was a new thing. Oh,
okay, because Mojo's never good enough for Hulu, so I never see him.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that's a regular thing or not, but okay, thanks for telling me that that's new, because I was.
And that reminds me, because Travis was at Monday Night Raw, there will not be a not good enough for Hulu Monday Night Raw edition, because Travis saw everything from behind the WrestleMania sign.
Fucking sign. Oh, I hate that sign so fucking much, dude. Like,
so, Travis, I'm about to say some shit I never thought I was going to say. I want to be clear, very clear, that no matter how I phrase this, I will always hate him for ending the streak. But after the Royal Rumble on Sunday and how good that men's Rumble was and what Brock Lesnar did to put Kofi over on some offense and Drew McIntyre and Keith Lee, really everything he did for that first half of the Rumble, I respect Brock Lesnar and what he lends to the business. And I see why they use Brock Lesnar the way they do in almost every aspect except for him defeating the streak, because that was unnecessary and didn't need to happen.
Almost like what I've been saying for forever. But anyway, I know you hate the whole him ending the streak thing, so I know you'll never concede that part. But
it's really hard to let that go. But the way he put Drew McIntyre over with that fucking Claymore, the stuff with Keith Lee where Keith Lee comes out and he's like, oh, big boy, and the way he sold that shoulder bump and what they did, the selling to Kofi of the Trouble in Paradise.
Oh, we want to see this. Like, I feel like we're going to get that Keith Lee Brock Lesnar match at some point. Like, we have to. Because they gave us a taste and they know the people want it.
I'm not saying it again, but I said it. It's done. Drew challenges Brock Lesnar. Then he squashes a couple jobbers in a handicap match. And then what?
He squashes a couple jobbers, Matt?
Yeah, that's what I said.
They're the best tag team in the world, Matt.
The best tag team in the world couldn't defeat Drew McIntyre in a 2-on-1 match.
Trophy to prove it, bro.
They jobbed out. Some local jobbers got beat by Drew McIntyre. I don't even know if they were local, but no, he lets us know he's challenging Brock for WrestleMania. Like, no bullshit, not waiting. This is what's happening. He cut he's an entertaining promo. Like, I really enjoy this Drew McIntyre, and I'm really glad we have this. And I'm actually looking forward, as long as they don't convolute it and fuck it up, to Drew versus Brock. Like, I'm good with it. I was good with him winning the Rumble. I wasn't even expecting him to win the Rumble because he eliminated Brock. So that was also a highlight. I love how they had Roman Reigns throw out Edge and like suck in all the booze.
Mm-hmm.
And then threw Roman Reigns out and got him even bigger. Like, they booked that thing fucking masterfully.
By the
way, we're
not
here to talk about that, though.
Speaking of the Rumble, and actually speaking of Brock and the Rumble, the way that Rumble started with him just eliminating everybody one by one. Now, I know this will never happen. And I know if it did happen, the internet would lose their fucking mind and people would absolutely hate this. But I want somebody to come in at number 1/number 2 and just eliminate everybody one by one from 1 all the way through 30. Kind of like how it would go down sometimes when you're playing the Royal Rumble in a video game, you know, where you just by yourself just kicking ass, just throwing everybody out one by one all the way through to the end. That would require somebody to have 29 eliminations.
Also,
never happen, but I would love to see it.
Since we're talking about it and we didn't get to talk about it, let me just say they got me, Travis. They got me good, because I sat down. I had our prediction sheets that we didn't do because you weren't here the Friday before the Royal Rumble. And I had everyone that had declared themselves for the Royal Rumble. And I don't know about you, when someone declares themselves for the Royal Rumble, in my mind, they are in the Royal Rumble. 28 people, counting our truth, who declared and then undeclared, and then on the kickoff show was kind of unsure if he had declared or not, or was going to be in it. 28 people, including our truth, had declared. So there were 2 spots. I love Shelton Benjamin. But when I saw him and MVP were the 2 people that were not declared that showed up, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. These are the surprises? And I even went on Twitter and I tweeted out, no Keith Lee, no Edge, no this, no that. And then Keith Lee came out and I'm like, okay, maybe he's taking our truth spot because our truth wasn't really in it. But still, what the fuck is going on here?
Not, I was just like, you should have seen the way I popped when Keith Lee came out, like by myself, like losing my shit. Like, yes, down there, get you some. Like, I was so ready.
Oh yeah, I popped big too for it. But then you got the surprise with Edge, and Heavy Machinery wasn't in it, and the OC was like, they did give you some surprises and some extra shit. So they really got me because I when I saw that MVP and Shelton Benjamin were the only two undeclared people in the Rumble, and I was like, these are the two people they didn't tell me about. This is some fucking bullshit. Like, don't get me wrong, I love seeing MVP back, but he should not be like the one surprise in an entire Rumble. That is not a good spot for him.
No, not really. Not at all.
All right, we need to get back to Monday Night Raw. Yeah. We're not even going to talk about the Women's Rumble and Bianca Belair. Okay. So, like I said, Drew squashes a couple jobbers, and then Brock shows up and F5s Drew. Huh?
She was so good, though. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. MVP comes out and loses to Rey Mysterio in his one match on Raw, or his last match for the WWE. And generally, you go out on a loss unless you get injured or you're Trish Stratus. He got his shit. Did Trish lose her last match? She might have.
Actually, no.
Against Charlotte?
Well, oh, yeah, that match, yeah. But, like, yeah, I'm talking about when she officially retired, though. Her last match was that title match and she won it. But, yeah, MVP. Last match, he said he wanted to have it against Mysterio. He got his shit into. He still did the balling thing and all that. So
it was great to see, and I was about it. I don't think that half the people watching even know what that balling is a reference to anymore.
Yeah, they don't know the song, man. It's just
Jim Jones.
Yeah, man. Just
balling.
Yeah, because I'm once again, I was in the crowd, and there's people, plenty of us in there who knew, so we did it with them. We were looking around, seeing all these damn kids that don't get it. They're just like, cultures.
I know it was his one and only match, but I still kind of wish they had done the inflatable thing for him on the stage. Oh, that would have been dope. Yeah. Aleister Black has a squash match and then says he's done waiting for people to pick fights with him. He's going to start picking fights now. I like this, but I was also disappointed because at the Royal Rumble, we saw Aleister Black attacking Buddy Murphy, and I thought he was going to align himself with Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe. And Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, Aleister Black is something I can 100% get behind, especially after the way Aleister Black literally KO'd Drew McIntyre during the Rumble with that black mass kick. Drew McIntyre said he was legit knocked out from that kick. But we might be turning a corner and using Aleister Black a little better. Maybe Vince is starting to see the value in Aleister Black that I've seen for a lot longer now. I just wish they get rid of the fucking like coffin creaky door sound during his entrance. Like, that's not necessary. I don't need that shit. Stop it. Then we had a Raw Tag Team title match. Joe and KO. They want proof that this went on way too long. Like, the proof that AOP are in the back just so that the Viking Raiders can jump the AOP and all this shit before the match starts. Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins still win. Apparently, Joe got injured during this match, which is unfortunate because we were just getting somewhere with Samoa Joe finally.
Yeah, while we were watching this, I was like, oh, shit. Because it looked like, from watching him, like, oh, he's like for real hurt. Like, oh, shit. And then they move him up to the, apron. He's standing there, and you see the ref go down and like talk to Seth, like, yo, we got to, tell him what's going on there. And he gets back in the ring. Yeah. I'm just like, shit, dude. I don't know what y'all saw on TV through all that, but.
We probably did. I don't think I saw the ref talking to Seth. I didn't see much down below the ring apron, but it was clear that he really did get hurt.
Out of the ring and went to Seth, and then he got back in.
Yeah. Then we got a Becky promo, and we have seen the underdog Becky, the underutilized Becky. We have seen the scrappy, never give up Becky. We've seen Becky Two Belts, the champion. We've seen the protected Becky who's fighting against the Authority. And now it looks like we're getting the overconfident champion Becky because she came out talking all sorts of shit, Travis.
Man, talk that shit.
full of that big dick energy. She got the GOAT jacket now. All that shit about how she's the best. She's done everything, blah, 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 blah.
And my thing is, yep, say it and make them prove you wrong.
Mm-hmm. I see an epic downfall for Becky, which is good because then we can rebuild the man back to where it was. I still think I was hoping Asuka was going to win because I want to see Becky chasing. I think this title run has ran a little too long and gotten a little stale. I think it's still going to last till WrestleMania. So then we got the U.S. title, Andrade Cien Almas versus Humberto Carrillo. This was the way to take Andrade off TV because he failed a drug test. I hear it's for steroids. Zelina causes the DQ. Humberto, who's still upset that Andrade won custody of him in the ladder match, has now snapped and lost his mind, and he's going to do to Humberto.
Or maybe because, he got his head driven into some concrete. Maybe that's why he's upset.
He's going to do to Andrade what Andrade did to Humberto, and he locks in the hammerlock DDT and drives poor Andrade face first into that concrete, and Zelina Vega freaks the fuck out.
She does. Sells it very well.
She sold that like a motherfucker. Then we get Charlotte. What was the main event of Raw?
Edge.
Okay, I don't know how I didn't type that out here, but yes, that is the main event of Raw. Thank you. I'm gonna need to. I gotta check something real quick.
I know
Charlotte comes out
where he came out at the end because we were all waiting for it in the arena. Like every time something else came up on this, like on the Titantron, like as like some kind of like advertisement, a commercial, like the crowd would boo because we're like, "Yo, give us Edge, just bring Edge out. That's what we're here for."
Yeah. So Charlotte comes out and basically she says that she hasn't. Okay, yeah, I left some shit off. I just stopped taking notes apparently, but I got some. I'm good. I got it here,
okay,
and I'm glad. So Charlotte comes out and basically teases us saying she hasn't decided who she wants to fight yet. And then Asuka comes down and Asuka says some shit in Japanese that I didn't understand because no one's got me Rosetta Stone yet. And I repeat, ladies and gentlemen, you can hit me at Matt Ritter on Twitter. Give me Rosetta Stone so I can learn some languages and understand what the fuck's going on. And then I will translate for you on every episode of Smackin' Raw podcast to let you know what they're saying.
Yeah.
Asuka and Kyrie attack Charlotte.
Yeah, we'll just get Rosetta Stone from Matt.
Yeah. Asuka and Kyrie attack Charlotte. Asuka says she would have won the Rumble. Kyrie, this was actually a really good match. Like Charlotte and Asuka together in the ring. There's a lot of chemistry there. They're fucking fantastic together. Even with the finish with Kyrie coming off the top with the elbow, breaking up the figure eight. Like, I really enjoyed this match. This was a much better match than we normally get on Monday Night Raw.
How'd the Kyrie on the microphone play out for y'all? Like,
Kyrie or Asuka?
No, Kyrie during the match. When Kyrie grabbed the microphone.
I don't remember that.
Oh, that must have happened during. Did you get a commercial break during the match?
Yes.
So this must have happened during your commercial break then. During the commercial, I guess, like during the match, Kyrie Sane just, she grabbed a microphone and was just, she was speaking Japanese and shit and like looking at the match like, like saying shit during the match. And eventually they just cut her mic off.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. So that must have happened during the commercial break then. It was so funny. It's just, why did they do that? Okay.
Then we have question. Do you think there's a possibility that Charlotte winning the Women's Rumble and them already stating that Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar is going to be the main event, that Charlotte finds a tag team partner and takes on the Kabuki Warriors for the tag team titles, because she specified that she hasn't chosen which champion she wants to face, and she can pick any champion.
Oh, man.
Don't look at me like that, Travis, because there are motherfuckers saying she's going to pick Rhea Ripley. All right? They are on line saying it's going to be Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley for the NXT women's title at WrestleMania. So don't look at me like I'm crazy.
You are crazy. You know that's not going to happen.
Why would Asuka be the first person she starts feuding with post Royal Rumble?
Who said she was feuding with her? She just needs a match. We got 2 shows before, or 2 like what they would call big shows before WrestleMania. So they still got to get through Super Showdown. They still got to get through Elimination Chamber. Yeah.
We ain't even going to talk about Super Showdown. Actually, we need to get through TakeOver, Philadelphia, and Elimination Chamber, because nobody can fuck about them Saudi shows. Then we get 24/7 title shit. Apparently, Mojo has an offensive lineman, and it's Riddick Moss. Riddick Moss didn't do shit in NXT, but we brought him up to Monday Night Raw. We put him with Mojo Rawley, and he is the worst offensive lineman ever, because after Mojo Rawley wins his match, he still gets rolled up and pinned by R-Truth. So he got past the O-lineman. He got the sack. But then when he tried to run away, what?
I was so hyped when that happened. When he saw him come through, I'm like, Truth! Yeah. We were sitting there watching, I'm like, all right, when's R-Truth coming out? Is he going to come out during the match? No, after the match. All right, there he is.
He's a much better D lineman than an O lineman. He let the sack happen, but then when Truth tried to run away with the ball, he stopped him, and Mojo got the win back.
Yeah.
Ever since Mojo Rawley took that stunner, like, I've tried to get behind him, and I thought, oh, this one might be cool. Like, people trying to roll him up, and he's just going to start jacking motherfuckers in the face. And, like, it's not going to be these corny, quick roll-ups where nothing happened to him, but they're getting rolled up and pinned. Like, this is something different. Cool, give me something different. And then this shit happened. I'm like, God damn it, Mojo. Why do you have to start something and make it seem cool and then fucking ruin it immediately?
What if, like, every week R-Truth gets the belt back and they take it back from him? Like, every week.
Moving on, we get Liv Morgan versus Lana.
R-Truth set a record, Matt. He has the most title wins in WWE history.
Good for him. He deserves it. Liv Morgan versus Lana. Much better match than I thought it was, and that is just basically because I didn't think Lana was going to look that good in ring, because she hasn't in the past, but she's clearly been doing some work. Speaking of looking good in the ring, Travis, we have talked about this. Liv Morgan's Black Canary cosplay outfit that she's wearing. I need more of that every week, because
here's the issue. Because of where I was sitting, I couldn't see as clearly into the ring. Well, I can see clearly into the ring, but I couldn't see the Titantron. I couldn't get good close-up looks at her, and it was very, very annoying.
Well, here's the thing.
I feel like WWE owes me an apology for that fucking sign.
The CW fucked up and didn't give me Black Canary in the Black Canary outfit, but Liv Morgan did. So mad props to Liv Morgan, because it was my favorite ring gear of Royal Rumble. It was my favorite ring gear of this entire week. It is hands down my favorite ring gear. More of that.
I don't know. I think I like Mandy's better.
I like Mandy's bottoms better, but overall, I like Liv's better.
I can give you
that. And Liv was impressive in the ring. Like, not to just denote her to eye candy, because she's not. Like, she is really good in the ring, and she showed out, and she made whether Lana has been training and Lana has gotten better or not, she made Lana look good, and she got the win. So good for Liv. We had an Eric Rowan squash match. Don't care. Gonna move on.
Yeah, more.
Then,
more with him bringing out his cage and
no, we don't care.
Like IRS with
that. I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, Eric Rowan and the squash match, not good enough for Hulu. Guaranteed it. Monday Night Raw, guaranteed not good enough for Hulu. Eric Rowan, every week.
You remember IRS, Matt?
I do remember IRS.
Yeah, and his briefcase.
And VK on Wall Street.
Yeah, when he went to WCW, yeah. But yeah, with his briefcase, and they're always trying to figure out what was in his briefcase. Yeah, they're doing the same shit.
You realize you just asked me if I remembered who Bray Wyatt's father was?
Just because you know who he is doesn't mean you remember him.
Okay, well, yeah, I remember him. Our main event, Travis, is the return of the rated R superstar Edge.
Mm-hmm.
After 3 or 9 years, he is back. He came back at the Rumble to a huge ovation. He lasted a long time in the Rumble. He looked good. There were all these people saying that there's no way Edge is coming back because he's been medically disqualified. I tried to tell people before this because they're like, why would you want Edge to come back? He's just going to hurt himself and paralyze himself. And you're a terrible person for hoping this to happen. I'm like, listen, WWE has some of the best doctors in the world. They are not going to let Edge come back just for shits and giggles. If he is not medically cleared to come back, they're not going to let him come back.
Exactly. Because
some people are arguing that WWE only let him come back because he played the AEW card. I don't believe that.
I don't believe that either because they are more concerned with, you know, well, how'd I put this? I trust their greed over anything because kind of like how I tell people about like at theme parks and those rides, like, how do you get on those rides? Blah, blah, blah. Anything can happen. I'm like, no. I trust this place's greed over anything because if anything goes wrong, they're going to get sued the fuck out of them, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So they're not going to let anything happen because they don't want to get sued. So if something's going to happen to them, it's not going to be because of this like previous injuries that they already knew about. You know, it's like they do their due diligence. Like, is he clear? Is he good? Because if he's not good, we're not letting him. But if he's good, we'll let him go.
So here's the thing. They said the same thing about Daniel Bryan. The only reason WWE let Daniel Bryan come back, now the only reason they let Edge come back is because they didn't want them to go to AEW or somewhere else and wrestle. That they basically sped them through the fucking process to get them cleared so they wouldn't go somewhere else. And I don't believe that. You guys can make up all the conspiracy bullshit you want.
Like, you folks on the internet, you all really believe, how do I put this? You care way more about AEW than Vince does. Like, this is the best way for me to put it.
They're going to be so mad, and they're going to come. Like, again, if you want to, because he wants the smoke, at Sir Cuss a Lot.
If you watch the video,
SIR.
If you're watching the video, it's right here at the bottom. It's right there. Come at me, bro.
Yeah, no, Travis, move your hand over to a little bit. It's the other corner. It's your right.
I'm pointing to the right place. It looks different for me than it does for you.
Okay.
I know.
Mine are both on my left. My name and your tag are both on my left of our screens. Anyway, Edge comes out. He does the speech about how he wants to end things on his terms, and it's awesome and it's heartfelt. It's great to have him back, and I feel good about it. Oh, yeah, I was going to say at Sir Cuss a Lot, at SIR_CUSALOTT. Let Travis know why Vince cares more about AEW than Travis thinks he does. Please do. I want to read the comments. I want to see this. Do it.
Give a shit about AEW.
Edge mentions all these wrestlers that he saw in the Royal Rumble.
So, yeah.
Old faces and new faces. And, of course, he mentions X-rated RKO tag team member Randy Orton because they had a little fun thing in the Rumble. And Randy comes down. I don't know if it fooled you, Travis, but it didn't fool me because Randy does whatever the fuck Randy wants. Exactly. And I knew he was going to RKO the shit out of Edge.
Yeah, when he came, I was like, yeah, RKO is coming.
I was not prepared for how I was going to feel after watching Edge get RKO'd because he went and immediately grabbed his neck because Edge is a professional and he knows what he's doing. And then the beat down that continued after this, Travis, was harder to watch than Two Girls, One Cup.
I don't know about all that.
No, it was.
I don't know about
watching, knowing what Edge went through and him grabbing at his neck. This was harder to watch than Two Girls, One Cup. And listen, if you are listening to the Smackin' Raw podcast and you are above the age of 18 and you don't know what Two Girls, One Cup is, And mind you, you should be above the age of 18 because I put the parental discretion thing at the beginning of this because this is a mature podcast, if you can't tell by now. I encourage you to go look up Two Girls, One Cup. Now, Travis, you're making that face. No. Because I had to see it, so they need to see it.
No, they do not need to see that.
They do.
Look, people, do not go watch Two Girls, One Cup. Do not. Please don't. Probably the only place you'll be able to find it now is on like Pornhub or some shit. And it probably won't even be on Pornhub. They're probably taking it off of there too. Good luck finding it. Don't watch it. All right.
I'm sure you can find it. If you don't know what we're talking about, you don't know what I mean by hard to watch, go find Two Girls, One Cup.
God.
You will never look at a McDonald's chocolate shake the same way again. So Randy takes out Edge, even, bashes him with the chair, gonna do the concerto thing, hits the RKO. I was hoping for, and I have been waiting to see Randy hit a punt kick because it's been so long. I thought this was going to be it, and it wasn't.
Yeah, when he came back, I'm like, oh, he's going to punt. He's going to hit that punt. No.
Nobody came down to help Edge. Nobody saved Edge.
Who would?
Anybody.
I mean, yeah, I'm just saying, though, like, who's on the roster right now who's like, would be that guy to have that connection with Edge that would come out to save him, like, that would make
Kurt
sense.
Hawkins and Zack Ryder?
Yeah, I guess.
Edge? Or not Edge, Rey Mysterio?
Yeah, I guess you're right there. Okay.
There are people that could have came out, but nobody came out. They just let poor Edge clutch at his neck and suffer and get beat down by Randy Orton. And I'm all for this. This was a great ending to Raw. It was one of the better endings to Raw I've seen in a long time.
It was funny because I went back and I watched it on YouTube afterwards because I just wanted to see like how this looked on TV. Because once again, I couldn't watch it on the Titantron because the fucking sign was in the way. So I was just like from the side I was watching, and I watched the concerto. I'm like, I hope that looked better on TV. Because from the side, I was literally watching it from the side. So when he swung down, like he's clearly not hitting anything. So
it did look better on TV.
Yeah, I saw it like with the way the angles they use and the way they cut and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, it's way better on TV.
Also, real quick disclaimer, because I just thought about this. Mom, stepmom Jackie, do not go look up Two Girls, One Cup. Do not do that. This is not for you. This is not about you. You do not need to see that. I forgot you guys watch and listen to the show. Do not look that up.
Mm-hmm.
This is for the younger people who don't know what we're talking about. It is not for you. Do not look that up.
Don't do it. I don't think they'd
Spit or swallow, Monday Night Raw.
Swallow all that shit.
Swallow and Raw. I have a feeling I know what you're going to say, and I have a feeling I disagree. What was the best show of the week, Travis?
Raw.
I'm going to go NXT. I know why you're saying Raw. I'm going to go NXT.
I mean, NXT was good. It's just Raw was better.
In your opinion, yes, it was.
The right opinion. It's okay.
Okay. I don't know. You want to run through all your spiels? You got energy for that? Are you awake now? You want to talk about the Patreon?
I'm barely making it through this. Just do it.
Okay. Guys, I got to special guest host Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow. And if you ask me, I think it is one of the best episodes of Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow we have had.
Hold on. Because, see, here's the thing. I joke about not letting you come on podcasts all the time. And you know what? After this week, I mean that shit. Because let me tell you why. In a pinch, I came to you for help, sir, and allowed you to be on a podcast that I told you wouldn't be allowed to be on ever again, and I let you do it anyway. And then you had the nerve the audacity, the temerity, the unmitigated gall to call the universe's greatest accomplishment trash. Fuck you.
That's Travis's side of it. From my perspective, Travis keeps telling me I can't be on the show until he needs a co-host. And then despite his constant toying and teasing with me, I still grace him with my presence. I still help him when he needs it.
Oh, that's fine.
I still show up.
From now on, if it comes down to it, I just won't do a show that week.
I did say some things about
this week is because it was the Arrow finale.
I did say some things about Crisis, but if you want to know what I said about Crisis, and if you want to know why Travis is so upset with me, you got to go listen. So on Facebook at facebook.com/group/superflashyarrow of tomorrow, I believe it was shared. You can check the video out there. You can see it on YouTube. You can see it on Pornhub because I didn't get us kicked off Pornhub. And if you're listening to this audio-wise, Google Play, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, basically anywhere you can get a podcast, you guys can find this podcast and that podcast.
If you
go listen to it.
Have a podcast platform that you use that we're not on, let me know at Sir Cuss a lot, and I'll make sure it gets put there.
That is correct. If you have a podcast platform that you are listening to that we are not on, let us know, and we will get us over there. But yeah, if you want to find out what I said about Crisis and why Travis doesn't want me back on the show, you got to go listen to that. We're not going to tell you here. Just know that Travis wasn't happy about it, and I don't think I was wrong. I think we straightened it out. You guys can find our show, this show, at facebook.com/groups/Smackin Raw. We got a lot of discussions going on over there. Every week we have a discussion during the show. Travis does the same thing at Super Flashy Arrow. He starts a discussion up during the episodes. Kind of like live tweeting, but over on Facebook in a group discussion. You guys can find everything from us at facebook.com/creation world. That has all our videos, that has links to both the Facebook groups and all the info for Patreon, all the info for Teespring, all the info you need about Creation World and what we do here. Anything else, Travis?
Nah.
For Sir Cuss-a-Lot Travis Pointer, I am the Warden Matt Ritter. We are Smacking It Raw, and we are that damn good.
Peace.